all but 5 laps this season. Kanaan has completed every lap but 1, and Power has completed every lap but 4 during the 2010 IZOD IndyCar Series.
Franchitti working on Muto.
Boy, when we have cars bunched up after a caution, we've seen some very, very good side-by-side racing. And Dario will move to 4th.
And you know, it was a great comment that Briscoe made at the beginning of the show. He said turns 1 and 2 is a super speedway, turns 3 and 4 is a mile oval in terms of how it gives you conditions.
There are the laps completed this year. Tony 99.9. Danica Patrick is 3rd on the list, and Ryan Vinare 4th.
And for Tony, he only gets the 99.9 because he finished 1 race down a lap. He actually has run every lap, but unfortunately he got lapped once. Otherwise he would have the 100% mark.
That's a pretty good record. Danica 6th, Muto 5th up ahead.
Compare that to KB Racing and over 30 crashes. Now that's including practice and so on, but still, what a difference when you can keep the car running and keep it tuning, because every time you crash one, it takes a lot of work to get the driver comfortable and get it back how you want it.
But at the beginning of the year, in the beginning of every race, that's the plan. You want to finish every lap, be on the podium, win the race. So, you know, Kanaan's done a good job.
Since getting around Rafa Matos for the lead, Ryan Briscoe has lengthened his advantage to 2.2 seconds. Running 3rd is Elio Castroneves. Dario Franchitti is 4th. Hideki Muto is in 5th position. And there is the leader of the race currently, Ryan Briscoe, with 93 laps completed. It's the Indy Japan 300 at Twin Ring Motegi in Japan, and the leader of the race is Ryan Briscoe. However, his teammate Elio Castroneves got around Rafa Matos, and now Elio runs 2nd and is cutting into Ryan's lead. Franchitti runs in 4th position right now, and the other championship contender, Will Power, is in 8th. And as they run on the racetrack right now, the lead is 9 points. Will over Dario.
Well, we know with what resulted with Briscoe last year and leaving the pits and tagging that wall that took him out of this race and really effectively the championship. He absolutely would like to finish this thing on top of the podium, no question.
3 appearances here for Ryan Briscoe, and now Danica Patrick we see running in 6th position. Jack?
Bob, let's go back to that incident with Ryan Briscoe last season. You remember, after a pit stop, they dropped the jack. He fired the car, lit the tires up, and ended up spinning into the end of pit speed cone. Well, here's what the IZOD IRL officials did this year. They moved pit number 1 for the leader, Will Power, back 2 stalls. They also moved to resume the end of pit road speed back about 20 feet. And so far, so good for everyone.
Okay, Jack, thank you. Now we see Dario closing in on Rafa for 3rd place, and Matos has got a pit. Drops down to the apron of the racetrack, and so Dario will take over that 3rd position.
And Matos was one of the 2 cars, him and Hideki, that stayed out on that, and so they've gone to lap 102, Jan.
Rafa Matos finished 9th here in his only race at Motegi last year, and he's coming toward you, Jack.
And Jill DeFerrin and Jay Penske watching as their crew goes to work. A calculated gamble that has not paid off handsomely for Rafa Matos in the HP car. He likes the tire top. And you heard him, blow by me.
8.5-second pit stop, and Matos runs back out onto the racetrack as we're on board now with Hideki Muto running in 4th spot.
And he should be coming in within a lap or 2.
And why Jack said that didn't pay off is because obviously they've had to come in under green conditions. We'll still see how it shakes out. And sure, he's in.
Yep.
I think it'll work out so bad at the end of the day.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's a little early to call that because these guys that are out on track, they may have to cycle back in on green as well.
Now, if there is a caution after this and everyone pits, then they are definitely toast.
Exactly. Exactly.
So Hideki Muto, in full view of his dad, watching his first IndyCar race by his son, gets service from the Newman Haas team. A nominal stop for Muto, who again, like Matos, hit it out of sequence, and now they're just going to have to gain back. Who knows? If the series of stops are under green, it could get interesting.
I like the idea that Hideki's father chose, instead of being in the pit box with his son, chose to be in the grandstand, I guess sitting by himself watching his son's first race in this series. That's kind of cool.
It's the best place to be.
Yeah.
I mean, on these ovals, especially if you're close to the racetrack, the sense of speed and being able to see the whole racetrack is very cool.
And look at how Elio has closed in on Ryan Briscoe for the lead. It's down to less than half a second. Elio was the dominant car until we had the first round of pit stops, and he wiggled on the restart and lost several positions, but here he comes back again. There's the captain, Roger Penske. His drivers running first, second, and sixth.
And again, remember the strategy we talked about earlier. Yes, power is the one back in 6 of the Penske cars, but the strategy of these two guys being up at the front to take those points away and just kind of mess with Dario Franchitti and the Target Chip Ganassi cars, that's all part of the big picture that Roger and Tim Cindric need to be thinking about.
We are past the halfway point. 108 laps completed on lap 109 of 200 here at the Indy Japan 300. Ryan Briscoe leads Elio Castroneves.
The Indy Japan 300 on Versus is brought to you by IZOD, the official apparel sponsor of the IZOD IndyCar Series, available at Macy's, and by Peak Performance Products.
Here's what's happened so far in today's race.
It was a clean start, but watch Rafael Matos, blue and silver, goes to the inside and actually goes underneath the white line through the transition of the banking, but he saves it. Not the case. Up ahead, Bertrand Baguette gets the bump, chases it, and then makes heavy contact at the outside of turn number 2. Thankfully, nobody else collects him, but an early end to the day for Baguette. Lap number 39. Kind of a mystery problem for Alex Lloyd, because we know now he has since gotten back into the race. Boy Scouts of America car. Lap number 68. Same spot for Baguette, but this time we think it was a bump, but then maybe some kind of failure. When you see sparks after the bump, it certainly looks like the left rear of the car is dropped down. And unfortunately for Mario Moraes, he did call the safety team to his aid. He was talking to them and moving. We have yet to have a report on his condition. Now, lap number 78. Watch the wiggle there. Elio Castroneves just coming off of turn number 4. Whoa, look out, and that gets a run. The 2 cars behind, Briscoe and Franchitti, pounce on him and take those positions away.
And we are under caution again here at Twin Ring Motegi as Paul Tracy rubbed the wall, brushed it, and we can see what happened in the replay. Here it is. Ooh, way up out of the groove.
Second time that we've seen him up there today. He saved it earlier, but this time does not. You see the barrier move.
And it was a good save. He was even, the rear of the car was coming around. He was coming up there. It wasn't just a 4-wheel drift up there. It was coming around.
Now, unfortunately, Matos and Muto just got cooked.
Yes.
Yeah,
they made their pit stops. Now there's been a caution. The strategy just blew up.
Yeah, they needed it to stay green, and that group that's on the track stay out there and cycle in with it staying green.
So that backfired.
Pit start.
Good. I liked it for a while.
Yeah.
I'd do it. It was the right call.
Pits are still closed. Now remember, during the last series of pit stops, Will Power gained several positions, and Danica Patrick also picked up 1 position during her pit stop. So we'll see how things go again as here comes the field.
Wow, look at Castroneves just getting as close as he possibly can. You can't overtake, but you can get alongside.